I'm back again. Here's my weekly update on books I've read, media I've consumed, travel, and other activities I've been up to. Hey, welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father and son talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy things we enjoy. This is just me, Jim the Father, with my weekly update on the things I've been up to that you might find interesting. If you enjoy it, don't forget to like the episode. Hope you'll subscribe and come back week after week to see what I'm moving through that you might find interesting and perhaps inspire you. Let's talk about the books I'm reading. Nothing really inspirational on this one because I'm on the same 3 books that I was last week, but they're still fantastic. I've just been so busy this week. Not enough time to really get into the amount of time needed to get through these books. Toll the Hounds, Book 8 of Malazan Book of the Fallen. I'm still just 24% in now. I mean, that's a little further than I was last week, but woefully inadequate the amount of time I've given to it. But every moment in this book is amazing. I'm loving Toll the Hounds. It's spending so much time expounding through the meandering thoughts of the characters, and I can lose myself in that. I am here for Malazan content. Steven Erickson, blowing my mind here. So, Toll the Hounds, fantastic. I'm still reading through Searching for Zen. This is the self-published book that I'm reading in physical format. I've just gotten a little further. I was 40% in last week. I'm about 45% in now. Honestly, I picked the book up once this week, and that was last night. It's what I ended my day with. It was worthy. I mean, every time I read this book, I'm captivated. There's something unique and different about this one. I look forward to doing a book blast and maybe full review episode on this book eventually because it's got some charm. I think a lot of my followers here would enjoy Searching for Zen. And the last book I'm still on is my audiobook, and that's The Dragon Republic. I began it last week, and I've still continued through it this week. I'm over halfway through now. There's quite a bit to listen to. It's not a short book, but the story is advancing in marvelous ways, and I'm still very much enjoying it. The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. But that's it. Haven't been able to add anything new. Nothing else to share on books I'm reading this week. But I'm having fun. Places I've been, well, I haven't strayed too far from home this week. I've got some travel coming up. I hosted 2 work conferences in my hometown, so I didn't have to go very far. That's nothing fun to report. But my wife and I did take some time this weekend to get out of town, just a day trip. It was delightful. We went across the border. See, we're in Vancouver, Washington, so we went across the state border, which means crossing the Columbia River, down for some shopping in Woodburn, Oregon. Outlet malls. We went for shoes. We didn't get shoes, but I got a frying pan. Seriously, this is a big old cast iron thing. You clout. This is the kind of thing that Alsbeth Lujan, that was her name, in the Wheel of Time. You clock a Trolloc with this, it's down for the count. Cast iron, solid, weighted. Okay, you already know content creating and reading are big hobbies. I also like to cook. I do most of the cooking in the house, so I'm actually geeked out that I got a brand new frying pan. But we didn't just go for shopping. My wife enticed me also with wine tasting. So from Woodburn, Oregon, we went over to McMinnville, Oregon. Not too far away, relatively. They're both on the south and southwest side of Portland, out in the more rural areas, not really in the intense metro suburb areas. McMinnville is a hotspot for wine tasting in its old, quaint downtown section. So we stopped in at Jacob Williams Winery. That's one where we have a membership. They have a spot out in the Columbia River Gorge and a tasting room in McMinnville. We go to both. Next weekend, we're out in the gorge. But that was nice, a little pleasant wine tasting and chit-chat, and then we tried out another one, Jay Wrigley's tasting room there. They have a winery vineyard out in Sheridan, Oregon. We didn't go to Sheridan, but we certainly enjoyed the tasting room in McMinnville. But that's it for my travels this week. Things I've watched. I haven't had a lot of time for TV this week. I mean, 4 of my days were busy with work with those conferences. But I did squeeze in some Chopped still and Next Level Chef. That's a Gordon Ramsay cooking competition. I enjoy Gordon Ramsay, even when he's being crass and yelling at people. He doesn't yell too much in this show. It's a little more pleasant, mild, but it's still a fun cooking show. I still learn things that I can use with my frying pan. But one good show that fits the SFF profile, I watched Shogun, the final episode of the 10-episode run, the FX show that's been featured on Hulu. It was good. I read Shogun many, many years ago. And of course, I watched the classic Richard Chamberlain miniseries that had been on back in the day. This miniseries well surpasses the original. I call it a miniseries. I mean, it was a season of 10 episodes, but it's really just 10 episodes to cover the book. So it's a mega series. They finished. The book is done complete. Well, I think I got a better understanding and grasp of Shogun, of this story through the new adaptation. They made some changes, but I thought the changes were good. And for a non-book reader, you get a better feel of what this story is really all about. They really highlight the political shenanigans and manipulation going on in the midst of the Japanese culture of the day. And the way Anjin-san, the Portuguese ship guy who's really English, an English pilot of a Portuguese ship, the way he is manipulated, utilized to advance the machinations, particularly of Lord Toranaga. I'll do an episode on Shogun soon. It was really good. Shout outs. What do I have today? I'm just shouting out one particular thing. Eric Hahn, a friend of the show, an author in his own right now, that I have featured his book, Jake the Dragon Talker. Well, his second book in the series, the Drakenard series, releases tomorrow, May 1st, and that's Xander, the Shadow Girl. I have read Xander. I'll put out an episode on Xander, the Shadow Girl soon. I read it in advance, was able to give some feedback to Eric. These books, middle grade fantasy fiction, they're solid, they're creative, they're fairly wholesome. You're not going to find any profanity. There is some humor definitely in there. Some of it that really hits what middle grades are going to enjoy, but still there's enough in here that I, as an adult, have enjoyed reading these books. So that releases now here May 1st. It's on pre-order today, but you can buy it and get it tomorrow. Available in paperback and Kindle version. It's also Kindle Unlimited. If you're a Kindle Unlimited person, you can read it without paying anything extra right now. Audiobook is coming, read by the author himself. So watch for that. Xander, the Shadow Girl, almost available tomorrow. Most watched episode and short this week. Well, the episode that was watched the most is my top 10 fantasy books with something special. 233 views already and still climbing. So thanks for watching that one. That was a fun top 10 list to put together. My short, that's the biggest so far, is Dad Jokes 38, Star Wars style. Just over 6,000 views so far, and people are still checking it out. The one that I just dropped today, Dad Jokes Marvel style, that was Dad Jokes 43. That shot right up to like 5.2 thousand. Now it's very slowed down, so didn't quite catch it. 38 reigns supreme for this week. Best comment of the week. Also connected to the top 10 fantasy books with something special that a lot of people have watched for our channel. Viewer Kevin's Novel Advice wrote, "You've convinced me to add Dragonflight to my TBR. I've seen it before, but never had any desire to read it. Sounds like something special, though." That's about the best thing a booktuber can hear. That what I have shared about, something I'm passionate about and loved, has inspired you to pick up a book. And you'll enjoy it. So thanks for sharing. All right, the last thing I featured on this has been a book scramble, and I am dropping the book scramble because nobody's guessing these. Either they're too hard or you just don't care. Doesn't matter. I can let it go, but I do want to let you know last week's Scramble, a one word fantasy novel, Sabriel by Garth Nix. The first book of his Abhorsen trilogy. Zach read those years ago, loves them. They're on my TBR. I don't think I'll get to them this year, but I might. More likely next year. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And check out the Drakenard Chronicles by Eric Hahn. Good books. Check them out yourself if you like fantasy. Might make gifts too for the younger people that you want to encourage to get into fantasy. Check back again next week. See what I've been up to. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.